Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name's Brian if you happen to be new around here, and occasionally I dip into subjects like we're covering in today's video. The title of this video is H3H3 versus xQc, the fight that we need. And the reason ends up being this is a fight that I think would benefit us in terms of the gray area that reaction content lives in. The TLDR, if you guys have not been following this development online, is that xQc reacted to Neo Explains. He uploaded a full video, a full react with just 1 minute more. If you guys aren't aware, reaction content really hurts original content on the platform, with the exception of generally the first 3 reacts to small creators. So the argument ends up being is that there is a value in reaction content, but that value is a bubble. It's over-evaluated, and while it will benefit some people up to a certain threshold, thus people want to enable this to continue because clearly there's an enjoyment that people have with it. At the end of the day, there's still a gray and problematic area. And that's why when H3H3 and xQc decided to get together for a debate, it was actually really fascinating because a lot of people look to Ethan, in this case, as kind of the champion of fair use. And that's, again, back all into this gray area. But that's the summary. Let's go ahead and put it in xQc's words real quick, and you can see kind of the crux of the problem here.
What you are looking at is considered the most densely populated place that ever existed. On an area of just 6.5 acres, or 4 football fields, dozens of individual buildings have merged into allowed various work.
Do not post this to YouTube for the lack of react. Boom! Metal pipes, cement, football, goal at the back. Wait a minute, chat. Hold up. I think this is a very rare copper alloy right there, chat. Somebody chat, hey chat, give me a zoom in on this and do a full infrastructural review of the material used in the building of this city. Right the fuck now. Boom. This is a deep dive and expert view in city building and architecture. Come on. Boom, boom. Chat, guys, chat finds this funny? Bro, relax, man. Bro, relax. Dude, chill out. It's lighthearted, okay? I had to go to the bathroom, okay? And then
I will be posting this to YouTube right now. Shame on you.
And then I took a phone call, okay? And then I got some water, okay? Now I feel really good. Now I'm ready. Also,
now, all of this brings to the question, what constitutes reaction content? What is and falls under fair use? Here's the problem, though, and this is just the reality of the situation. xQc and live streaming content creators, it's a kingmaker system. Getting on their bad side tends not to work out for smaller content creators who are just trying to grow, just trying to get that recognition for their hard work. Now, we've seen lots of analysis. I've covered it here on this channel. I've talked about the benefits of making reaction content versus being reacted to. Having been reacted to several large streamers, I have reached out and have a general policy of asking people to at least wait 1 to 2 weeks for my video to be out before somebody reacts to it. If I do make a reaction content, which I am usually requested to from time to time, I share 50% of my revenue on those videos with the person who made the original work, as, call it penance, call it whatever you want, just as a form of restitution. I believe the real solution lies at YouTube, because this is really where the problem is. And also, don't get distracted by the argument that people would still react off-site, and there's no way that YouTube could claim the Twitch revenue. I agree with that, but that's not the point. That's kind of a whataboutism that kind of gets thrown out there to say it wouldn't all be fixed. The problem ends up being YouTube and YouTube alone, because xQc's reaction suppresses the original video and the original work. Sure, we can talk about discovering. Maybe you wouldn't have seen it otherwise. Maybe you've gone and not watched somebody else's content from that. I've been discovered that way. That's a discovery. And like I said in the intro of this video, it has a diminishing return. Once you've discovered somebody and decide whether you like them or not, additional reactions don't have that same benefit. That has happened, and it roughly rounds around 1 to 3% of an engagement click-through, which is actually less than if somebody did a collab or some other form of discovery. The other forms of discovery tend to actually work better than a reaction does for content creators. Also, you have not just a revenue issue, because my thing isn't necessarily a revenue issue. Revenue just makes it easy math to share, but it comes down into the space in which people are looking for content. A reaction takes the spot of the original video. Now, YouTube could fix this. YouTube could bring in the tools that they give everybody except for the creators to be able to, I don't know, share the revenue, share the watch time, share the engagement, so that the algorithm itself would actually promote the original video before the reaction. But it's heating up. And this is where it comes down to why I really kind of want to highlight this video, to kind of highlight one of my core frustrations. I said it's a kingmaker system. Life is a kingmaker system. All of us are probably a little fatigued when you have, billionaires running around and doing things that are illegal, but the fines themselves, the getting in trouble themselves, is so minuscule in comparison to their wealth that there isn't a disadvantage, and so they do it anyway. We see this numerous times, and that's the best analogy that I can kind of inform here on this subject, namely because xQc is flexing that size and that ability, and obviously that big check that he got from Kick. And honestly, I'm happy that he's getting paid for his discovery and his worth. I'm not going to sit here and say anybody shouldn't get paid what they're worth. However, then the problem comes into this constant defense of this. And let's start with Ethan on August the 3rd, tweeting this out publicly. He says, "I'd like to state publicly that xQc is a content thief. And if you think that that's defamation, please sue me, bitch. Destroying morons in court is my favorite hobby. And if you want me to explain why you're a content thief, I'm happy to chat with you anytime." He goes on because he's quoting Neo saying, because xQc in their interview says that he is a paid actor in this case, that this isn't real, that this is all a partisan targeting hit campaign that is going on. Now, before we get into the DMs, and I'm sharing the DMs that Ethan has shared with the world over on Twitter, and you guys can go follow the links if you want to in the description of this video. But he says that for the record, xQc is the one who actually invited him to the debate, stating, "Debate me, old guy," and then going on to kind of have these, just rants on DM with Ethan. And I think this is kind of interesting, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Now, I generally don't share DMs. I get DMs from all over the place, and I have to, my personal policy is I ask for permission to kind of share this, but this is public information, so we're covering it here for you guys. xQc says, "I know it kills you inside to lose so much time and money in that lawsuit." Ethan says, "Which one?" "I don't know which one ever really. You seem bitter after it." He says, "I'm fine. Anyway, when the bills kick in and you're struggling, remind yourself you leak DMs out of insecurity." Continuing on saying, "And don't forget, I got your whole house on my wrist." All of this continues to promote the xQc brand, and in a way, in the H3H3 brand. And let's not be ignorant of the fact that if you clicked on this video because of internet drama, you might be being introduced to my channel. So hello everyone and welcome. I like video games. I like talking about video games, but I am also on the side that there is a needed change within the concept of reaction content here on this platform. It is, somebody could put in 100 hours of work. Let's just do some simple math to kind of illustrate this. Somebody could put 100 hours of work on a video, and they could get, some discovery and some views, and they can continue to do this and continue to do this, driven by passion. And that should be celebrated because we can get unique and original content from unique and original voices that can help us, see the world in different ways. But let's not litigate that here in this video. Let's focus on the subject. A reactor can watch said video in 15 minutes. In fact, in 1 hour, you could think that a reactor could actually make 4 different videos. Now, those 4 videos will compete and suppress the original posts. You will get a 1 to 3% click-through rate of people who watch the reaction and go and support the original video. That 1 to 3% are effing legends and should be celebrated. However, they are, again, the minority. They're a vocal minority. They'll come and they comment anytime we bring up this subject on the channel, saying, hey, I discovered you through this person or that person. And I appreciate them coming and watching and sticking around. But that doesn't just justify the issue at hand. Now, I've seen an argument, perhaps the best argument, coming from Joker. We had a discussion about this over on Twitter, saying that other companies, especially within gaming, think of like Nintendo, or you think about like Bungie or something like that, claiming original content from gaming creators as a revenue share. They can do that now. They could take everything from you right now. Nintendo could come in and claim any of your Nintendo videos. Bungie could do the same. Sony and Microsoft could do the same. What holds that off, whether it's gameplay, counting as fair use or not, is that there is a market value that content creators continue to bring to the table for those companies, and it doesn't look good. It's a fight they, I think, could legally win, but it's a fight that they would lose in the court of public opinion, and thus it remains the same. So the fear would be that adding in the ability to share these things, that all of a sudden these companies would start taking and sharing the revenue from their content creators, and that's possible that they could do that. But in a marketplace of ideas and economy, well, if there's a there's a company that's not doing that, and it's more advantageous for the content creator to make space for their videos, then you could see how, just like here on YouTube, when Nintendo did this actively as a part of their content creator program, well, people just really didn't make Nintendo games. It hurt Nintendo in the long run to do that, because that's what I was saying. This already exists for the big guys. The problem ends up being content creator in making something, and then content creator reactor, reacts to it, and then the cycle continues. Now, again, my statement is that YouTube should fix this. I do honestly am now rooting for some form of lawsuit in this case, because this is unacceptable and should not be championed in any form or fashion. What xQc did is not fair use and reaction content. In fact, the fact that we brought up their video, their reaction to it, walking away, and uploading the same video with just like 1 or 2 minutes more, like, I think everybody can understand that that's one side, and that's not great. The other side of people breaking it up, or spending time making discussion, you take a 15-minute video and turning it into an hour-and-a-half video discussion essay, I think a lot of people like that. I enjoy watching those when people react to my videos. They're entertaining and fun, especially depending on the content creator who reacts. But we're hopefully, by this point in the video, you're seeing that there is a clear gray and middle ground area that is all managed off of this unspoken rule between content creators. And if I, for example, were to strike somebody who reacted to my content and re-uploaded it, there's a bigger chance of blowback against me than there is value in actually trying to defend the work that I produce here on the channel. So it's kind of in this weird stalemate. But the hope here, and the final thought I want to leave you guys on, is the hope here is that we can finally start to see the conversation shift, and more people can start to get behind the idea that YouTube needs to make some changes for a more fair and equitable reality of what content creation is, to help inspire and grow, the small and mid-sized content creators so that they can flourish on the platform. And that's what I want to say on this, guys. Also, thank you guys so much for watching this video. Huge shout out. Thank you guys for the 500 likes on my Starfield video, and also responding to my follow-up Starfield video with almost 150 likes. I issued a challenge of 200 likes on that video, and you guys are really following through. So I'm going to see if I can't start issuing more challenges as well. If you guys are new here, you like content, you like my breakdowns, feel free to check out my other videos on the channel page. We are slowly eking up to 65,000 subscribers. We're less than 200 now. Yesterday we were less than 300. So thank you guys so much for the constant support of my content, and I just wish you guys all the very best. I will keep you up to date on anything that kind of evolves. If any lawsuit does end up evolving out of this, most likely it's just a lot of talk, a lot of chest pumping and more, because xQc has enough money that he can really do whatever he wants. He can flex however he wants. There's really nothing that's going to change that, unfortunately, unless public opinion shifts, and unless people, all kind of say we're just not in for this. We're just not in for this kind of content anymore. But I'm not having any illusions of grandeur that this video will be the catalyst to it. Hopefully the catalyst is already being staged, and again, hopefully, and the solution has to be driven, I think, at a YouTube platform level as opposed to anything else. Humans are going to want what they want. They want reaction content. People put out reaction content. Streamers are live, and they got to stay live for as long as they possibly can. And the best way to do that is off the back of everybody else who's working, putting out content so that they can, I guess, be entertaining just a little bit longer over on the live streaming platforms. Anyway, guys, I appreciate your time today. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Sound off the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this and anything we talked about here today. And I wish you guys all the very best. Anyway, until next time, take care.